Heading into the 2025 season, Wisconsin will have their fourth different starting quarterback heading into the season in the last 4 years. They just picked up a huge commitment from Maryland transfer and dual threat quarterback Billy Edwards Jr., who will look to improve the Badgers' offense under first-year offense coordinator Jeff Grimes. This is the story of Wisconsin's new game-changing quarterback. This is the story of Billy Edwards Jr. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know which Wisconsin quarterback you are most excited to watch in the comments section below. Billy Edwards Jr. grew up in Springfield, Virginia, which is just outside Washington, D.C. His father was a high school football coach and would later serve as the high school's defensive coordinator while he attended Lake Braddock. His brother Kyle would play football at Alabama, serving as the scout team quarterback from 2017 to 2019, when the quarterback room featured Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Hurts, and Mac Jones. Billy's brother would serve as a mentor to him, teaching him some of the lessons he learned in college at Bama. Kyle would go on to serve as a graduate assistant under Mike Locksley at Maryland from 2021 to 2023, before joining Richmond as their tight ends coach this past year. His sister Bailey was an athlete as well, earning 12 varsity letters herself in high school and always giving Billy motivation with her support. Like I said before, Edwards attended Lake Braddock Secondary School, where as a freshman, he entered the football program at 100 pounds. He never lacked confidence though, walking up to his high school coach, telling him during the introductory meeting, "My name is Billy Edwards, and I'm going to be a Division I quarterback." His coach smiled at him and patted him on the back. Football is always important for Billy, as he served as a ball boy for his dad's high school program at the age of 6. At the age of 14, Billy began studying film with his coach during his lunch break, and as he grew older, he began collaborating with his coaches to design the offense. During his freshman year, Edwards would play for the freshman team but would be thrown into a playoff game against T.C. Williams. Heading into his sophomore year, he would earn the starting quarterback job after impressing his coaches with his preparation. His high school coach told the Burke Connection, "His presence is what surprised me the most. The kid is 15 years old, and most 15-year-olds are throwing their Xbox controllers on the ground because they died in Fortnite. This kid, he's savvy. He comes from a football family. His dad is a coach, his brother plays at Alabama. It's just in his blood. To see him develop freshman football to now, I've never seen growth like that. I've coached guys that are in the NFL, and I've never seen a one-year jump like that." During the second game of his sophomore season, he impressed, throwing for 348 yards and 5 touchdowns, completing 17 of his 23 passes. But it was how he did it that was even more remarkable. Up 15 on a 4th and goal on the 18-yard line, head coach Mike Doughty decided to go for it. Edwards took a shotgun snap, looked to his right, and didn't like the first 2 reads. He then stepped up in the pocket, looked to his left, and found his third option, running back Ben Dizon, who hauled in Edwards' pass and fell into the end zone for a back-breaking touchdown. He finished the season strong, but it would be his junior year where he would be even better. Edwards led Lake Braddock to a 10-3 record, where they would go 4-1 in league play and made the playoffs. He finished the year throwing for 2,677 yards, 31 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions, also rushing for 405 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground. He was named All-State Honorable Mention along with First Team All-District and First Team All-Region. There was a lot of excitement of how he would do his senior year, but unfortunately due to COVID, the Virginia high school football season was canceled and he would not play another down for Lake Braddock. He finished his high school career throwing for over 5,000 passing yards and 59 touchdowns, while also rushing for 750 yards and 6 touchdowns on the ground. He also served as a punter on a handful of times, pinning 3 kicks inside the 20, averaging 43.8 yards per punt. Coming out of high school, according to 24/7 Sports Composite, Billy Edwards Jr. was a 3-star recruit who was the 103rd best quarterback and 1,589th best player in the 2021 recruiting class. He received over 30 different Division I offers from likes of App State, Liberty, James Madison, Old Dominion, and Wake Forest. During the summer of 2020, Edwards did not have any Power 5 offers and chose to stay close to home and committed to Old Dominion. Liberty would also make a push to land Edwards, but it would not be enough. Late in the process, though, Wake Forest became interested in the Virginia quarterback, offering him on December 1st of 2020. The late push would pay off for the Demon Deacons, as he would decommit from Old Dominion a few days later and committed to and signed with Wake Forest. During the 2021 season, Edwards would sit behind future NFL draft pick Sam Hartman and would not see any playing time as he would redshirt. During the Demon Deacon spring game, the following spring, he impressed, completing 12 of his 14 passes for 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. He would decide to enter the transfer portal following spring practice, explaining, My freshman year at Wake Forest, it was about a 5.5-hour drive that my parents and my sister made pretty regularly. It wasn't the end of the world, but I knew when I made the decision to enter the portal that where I was going to be closer than that. With his brother on the staff at Maryland and the school only being 35 minutes away from his family, the decision was easy and he would commit to Maryland on June 1st of 2022. He joined a roster that had redshirt junior starting quarterback Taulia Tagovailoa and 2 incoming freshmen, so he was the favorite to land the backup quarterback job heading into fall camp. He knew he was probably going to have to sit 2 years behind Taulia, and he would start 2 games as a redshirt freshman with his first start of his career and first start since 2019 against Northwestern, where he completed 18 of his 28 passes for 166 yards and a touchdown and rushed for another 66 yards on 16 carries. He had taken over the week before in the fourth quarter of the Indiana game, leading the Terps to the win, leading the go-ahead drive and game-sealing drive, rushing 5 times for 53 yards with a touchdown to extend the Terps' lead to 38-27. A few weeks later, he entered the game late in the fourth quarter against Penn State. He made his second start against NC State in the Duke's Mayo Bowl, as Tagovailoa was benched for the first drive, with Locksley explaining, "It was a coach's decision, and sometimes you have to do things to send a message." Edwards finished his redshirt freshman season throwing for 308 yards and 3 touchdowns, while also rushing for 136 yards and a touchdown on the ground. As a sophomore, Tagovailoa returned as the starter, and Billy appeared in 8 games, throwing for 128 yards and a touchdown, while rushing for 104 yards and 7 touchdowns on the ground. With Tagovailoa opting out of the bowl game, Edwards would take over as the starter for Maryland's bowl game against Auburn, their first time playing an SEC team in a bowl game since 2002, when they routed Tennessee 30-3 in the Peach Bowl. It would beat Auburn 31-13 as Edwards threw for 126 yards and a touchdown, while also rushing for 50 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Heading into the 2024 season, it would finally be his opportunity to start for Maryland. Edwards had been a team player while he was the backup, as Locksley even tasked Edwards with being a personal handler of sorts for Tagovailoa, ensuring the Terrapins' most important player would be on time to meetings and other team-related activities. Locksley explained, "It's a little-known secret, man, that Billy was Taulia's brother's keeper. They had a really strong relationship. I know Leah texted me immediately after the game and was super excited for Billy. Very similar characteristics, I think, with Leah, and the work ethic that takes to play quarterback in the system." Edwards embraced his responsibility, welcoming additional opportunities to be around Tagovailoa and observe how he carried himself both in preparation and execution. Billy's sister helped keep her brother focused as she would send him motivational messages. He kept sticky notes throughout his room reminding him of everything he had been through. He beat out MJ Morris, an NC State transfer, and Cameron Edge for the starting quarterback job heading into the season. When he was named the starter, Edwards said, "Throughout this business of college football is a business. You obviously want to be where my feet are and take in those moments because this is the stuff I've dreamed about my whole life. But I think the biggest thing for me was I've been here for 2 years, and every game I've trained myself like the starter. I've prepared myself to be the starter. So I try not to make it too big of a difference from my mentality." In his first start of the 2024 season, Billy impressed, throwing for 311 yards, all career highs, and 2 touchdowns, showing accuracy on short, intermediate, and deep throws, including a 75-yard touchdown pass to Ty Felton. During the second quarter, he would take a brutal hit, giving himself up late, but it showed his willingness to sacrifice his body and showed his almost fearless disposition as an undisputed leader for the Terrapins in his first season as a full-time starter. Following the game, running back Nolan Ray told the media, "He's a great guy to have at quarterback. His leadership capabilities vocally. He's going to show you how to do it the right way. He's going to tell you how to do it the right way. He's going to pick you up. If you get down on yourself, he won't allow you to do that. So that's important to have in the huddle. When you face that adversity in tough games, you need that guy that's going to be able to pick up the team and keep everybody's spirits high, and he's really good at that." He finished the year starting 11 games, throwing for 2,881 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. Edwards threw 13 touchdowns and 4 interceptions during Maryland's first 7 games, but struggled down the stretch as he tossed 2 touchdowns and 5 interceptions over his last 4 games and missed the finale against Penn State with an injury. Maryland finished the year 4-8, and following the season, Billy decided to enter the transfer portal again. Earlier this week, he decided to commit to Wisconsin after visiting this past weekend. He'll be the veteran presence in a quarterback room that returns only one player from last year's roster, and will bring in San Diego State transfer Danny O'Neal and freshman Carter Smith, as Tyler Van Dyke and Braden Locke decide to enter the transfer portal. Edwards, who stands at 6'3", will bring a more athletic needed aspect to the Badgers quarterback room, when compared to Locke for first-year offense coordinator Jeff Grimes, and he will have 1 year of eligibility left. As a Badger fan, I'm cautiously optimistic for the future of the offense and can't wait to see what Edwards is able to do next year in a Badgers uniform. What do you think? Who's the starting quarterback for the Badgers in 2025? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.